Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is from
Very beautiful morning to you. Thank you for joining us on your ultimate breakfast current affairs program. This morning on ITV, we're broadcasting live from our Benin Network Center right here in Benin. I am Lawrence Osifo, your anchor, here to take you through on the show this beautiful, beautiful Thursday morning. So much has been happening in the polity, so much has been happening in the politics, so much has been happening in the nation called Nigeria lately. There's been series of attacks, masterminds of different attack from Kebbi to Kwara to just name it. So series of activities that are not pleasant has been happening in Nigeria, which a lot of persons have been talking about. There has been some talking points lately. Let's not also forget the fracas that broke out at the Wadata Plaza, that is the national headquarters of the PDP secretariat in Abuja. So some persons are saying it is Wahala in Wadata. Depends on how you're going to put it. So looking at the nation Nigeria, every day is a talking point, whether in politics, in the economy, in everywhere we talk about things happening in the country. So we'll continue to speak up and continue to speak, and look forward to seeing the government of the day what they can do in order for the country to be safe. Remember what Section 14 of the Constitution says, that security and welfare shall be the sole purpose of government. So if the government cannot secure its people, if the government cannot secure its citizens, the question becomes, why are they there? Why did they converse or vote? Why did the people actually voted for them to be in position? We saw the mass abduction of 25 students from the government girls secondary school in Maga in Kebbi State. Talking about that, Warrington talking about that. Another stroke happened in Kwara, in Eruku area of Kwara State, where some armed gunmen invaded a worship center, and some persons were abducted, some were killed in that incident, just the same way it happened in Kebbi State, where the vice principal was said to have died in the incidents in that abduction. So Nigeria is bleeding. Let's not lie to ourselves. The presidency, the government, whether the federal, the state, the local, they should know that the country is indeed bleeding and Nigerians are dying. We cannot continue like this. Call it Christian genocide, call it Muslim genocide, call it Nigerian genocide. Genocide is genocide. Are people dying? Yes. Are they killing people? Yes. Are they Christians? Yes. Are they Muslims? Yes. Are they Nigerians? That is the main thing, not the religion. We should take religion aside and tackle the issue that is bedeviling us as a nation. So trying to politicize it or trying to bring religion, trying to bring politics into it, it becomes a problem. The question is, are they killing Nigerians? The answer is yes, in capital letters. Nigerians are dying. People are dying. The ones you did not even hear, even more than the ones you hear of on a daily basis. Some happen codedly and nobody talks about it, simply because probably the media did not get information about it, or it did not come out of the media space. So people keep dying on a daily basis. So this should be a wake-up call to the government at all levels, especially the federal government. This is what they said they are going to do, that they will secure the lives of Nigerians. So it becomes a problem when people are dying like flies or people are dying like chickens. The life of every Nigerian matters, no matter your ethnic group, no matter your religion, no matter your height, no matter your size, no matter your color, no matter your level of education. People are dying, and we cannot continue like this as a nation. I'm not on the show alone today. This morning I have my colleagues in Abuja and my colleagues in Lagos. They will definitely be joining me in the course of the camp. Okay, Joshua in Lagos is already ready. Hello, Josh. Good to have you on the show this morning.
Good morning, my brother Lawrence. Good to see you once again on the program this morning. And of course, I am not here alone, as of course I'm being joined by Patricia Gabriel. Let's say hi to Lawrence.
Good morning, Josh, and good morning, Lawrence. Lawrence, you made my mood very sad this morning with everything you had just talked about. Nigerians are dying. We don't care what genocide is going to be called, but Nigerians are dying, and this has to stop. Josh.
Of course, Lawrence, what you discussed a few minutes ago is just something that we would also be looking at in the course of our conversation this morning, talking about insecurity. You know, as much as life is sacrosanct, we shouldn't start categorizing it, as it were, whether it's just affecting Christians alone or Muslims alone. We're all Nigerians, and life, as it were, is sacrosanct. So it beholds on the government to be able to make sure that the lives of people are secure, regardless of wherever you reside, regardless of whatever religious group you fall into. As long as life is involved, it beholds on the government to take responsibility and respond, you know, as at when due to issues that on insecurity. Even the fact that in a country where, you know, just go about their life without, you know, bothered about what's really happening. And some persons could begin to categorize, well, it's a Muslim. Yes. What matters is that life is sacrosanct, and it is the essence of having government in place in the first place to be able to secure life and property. And when this is in its deficit, then it mostly means that we're slipping into a failed state. So it is something that we need to keep talking about, and of course, provide solutions that government could take up to be able to make sure that lives and property are being secured.
You know, it really gives me, it sickens my heart when I hear some persons who try to defend whether the people that are dying are Christians or they are Muslims. It brings to question why we've placed religion, or we've placed politics, or we've placed psychophancy over the real deal. Now, life, like you said, is sacrosanct. We shouldn't be talking about who is dying. Should anybody die? That is the question. If someone wants to die, let the person die normal death, if there's anything like a normal death, though, per se. What I mean by normal death is someone gets old, or it's a case of the person was ill, or the person was sick, maybe a terminal illness or something of such. Not someone who wakes up in the morning and saying he or she is going to a worship center, because we love religion so much in this part of the world. The person goes to the worship center, they did not return back home. That is not it, because people will now want to defend whether or whether not. Or children get dressed in the morning. Okay, they are living in a boarding school, for instance. They get dressed from their dormitory. They go to the classes where they want to go have class, or while they are in their dormitory, people just you know, invade their premises, abduct not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, 9, or 10, 25. Oh my God. There were information about an intelligence from the Department of State Services, the DSS, that there was going to be an attack in that school. And the military was deployed there. From the information that was made available to the media, the military was deployed to the government girls secondary school in Maga in Kebbi State. Few minutes after, the military got a call from, in quote, the Ogas at the top, that they should leave, that nothing of such is going to happen. 30 minutes later, bandits struck, killed the vice principal, abducted 25 girls. Chibok till today, nobody knows what is happening. Dapchi till today, nobody knows what has happened. And some other ones, Nigerians cannot even remember again, the likes of the Bama, the Baga, and all that. So it brings to question what is really happening. What is the government doing? What is the federal government doing to safeguard the lives of Nigerians? People can no longer sleep with their eyes closed. You're sleeping, you hear a sound, you are terrified. You know, it brings the question of even you that is staying in a street where you think you have a police station, you are not even safe, because I've had an encounter of such. So who now do we rely on for safety? The president of the US came out the other day to say there's genocide in Nigeria, that Nigeria is a country of particular concern. Everybody started shouting and raising voices. It's a lie, all of this. The minister was interviewed a few days ago. The minister also went there to lie. That's the Minister of Foreign Affairs. He lied. Are they killing Nigerians? Yes. Are Nigerians dying? Yes. Are Nigerians supposed to die? No. That's the typical answer. So nobody should come and bend it because of politics. Nobody should come and talk about it in a way that does not correlate to Nigerians. Because it becomes a problem when some of us who are in the media, begin to speak like this. It look as if we're becoming so emotional. Yes, we are. Because we are talking about human life. Someone who has not been, maybe your family member, your loved ones have not been probably kidnapped in this country or died in a way he or she is not supposed to die. That person really wouldn't feel that pain. A lot of persons around me that I know, they've been victims of this. And come on, it's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be. So we're speaking out to the government. They should sit up. The reason why they said they need power is that they want to provide security. They want to provide welfare. Security we're not seeing. Welfare we're not seeing. Then what else are we enjoying in Nigeria? What are we enjoying? It's really disheartening, Joshua. So we'll continue to engage with, the government rather than for them to focus on the main issue. Everybody is bothered about 2027. 2027 should not be what we should be talking about right now. We should be talking about safety of Nigeria. If everybody is killed, then who goes out to the field to vote for you come 2027? If majority of Nigerians die, who goes out there to vote for you come 2027? This is really, really disheartening. But our focus here in Benin this morning definitely is going to be the PDP's. Okay, I'm pretty sure that our Abuja Center is ready. Charity, good to see you. How are you this morning?
I'm fine. Good morning, Lawrence. And good to see you too. Well, like you said, it's disheartening that things are happening like this. And the focus for our politicians is 2027. Even as I speak now, there are lawmakers who have come together and begin to pitch the Deputy Senate President for the governor of, for Kano State Governor come 2027. But that will not be the focus from Abuja Network Center. From the Abuja Network Center, the focus is going to be on PDP crisis, the sealing of the National Secretariat. As we speak now, the National Secretariat has been sealed. There is a serious for the soul of PK faction fighting PDP. We have this key faction fighting for the soul of PDP. At the end of the day, we're going to see how it pans. But we're going to be looking, what does this tell us? A party that is supposed to be the major opposition party of the country find itself engulfed in a serious tussle that it appears as if it cannot even save itself. Even as at the time people were saying that Wike and his G5 governors, or they are now G4, should have been sanctions for anti-party activities. Nothing was done, but last week they were expelled. And the Wike faction also retaliated by expelling the other faction. Wow. It's, we can safely say it is PDP. PDP is the house of commotion. And we are watching to see what will happen. We're going to be discussing how is this going to pan out, what is the implication for Nigerians who are, especially for those who have been looking up to PDP to put up a serious opposition stance against the ruling party.
All right, thank you very much, Charity. Same here in Benin. We'll also be monitoring and looking into the crisis rocking the supposed main opposition party, but it seemed like that party have lost. I don't know, maybe my guest later will be the one to speak to the issue. It seemed like the party has lost its position. It seemed like, because a party that has been on for the past 26 years, they call themselves the biggest political party in Africa, but the issues bedeviling, the crisis bedeviling the PDP. How will they survive this before 2027, which is the year now everybody is looking forward to, when nobody is talking about the insecurity bedeviling the country, bedeviling the Nigerian state? So definitely my guests later on the show will also be having that conversation, looking at the unending crisis in the PDP. How will they be able to survive it before the 2027 election? Because it seemed like we're turning into a one-party state as it stands. A governor was supposed to defect yesterday, but I don't know what happened at the end of the day. That information was all over everywhere. One of the PDP governor was supposed to also join the APC, but he said he has postponed his move. So it's like the PDP is now a sinking ship. The factional PDP, but those who conducted the convention in Ibadan on Saturday said there is no faction, that the person of Taminu Turaki SAN, the former minister, is the chairman of the PDP and is executive. But that is not going down well with the camp of a former two-time governor of Rivers State and now the incumbent minister of the Federal Capital Territory, the person of Wiki, who seemed like the Jagaban now in the PDP, who is holding the party to sway. And so we'll be unbundling all those whole issues, because a society, a democratic society, needs a strong opposition to thrive. So if opposition is not there, then we begin to wonder what is happening. The whole killing is happening. Nobody is even talking about it. Not even the opposition, not the ruling party. So everybody is just quiet about the whole issue. So we'll also be looking at the PDP, the crisis rocking it. How will they survive before 2027? All of that we'll be having to talk about here in our Benin Network Center on the show this morning. Joshua, I'm pretty sure you have a snippet for us from Lagos, you and Patricia Daniels.
Of course. That's what I wanted to say here during the with us, be showing the videos shortly after this break, where we've got to talk about extensively the insecurity bedeviling the country, and of course the reasons why successive governments, both present and past, have had to had challenges with the policy making and execution in Nigeria. So these are some of the issues we discussed during the week, and of course our viewing audience cannot wait to get a glance of what we discussed during the course of our conversation with our guest in the person of Pastor Itwa Igodalo during the week.
All right, thank you very much, Joshua. So all of that we'll be having for our viewers this morning from Abuja, Benin, and Lagos on the show this morning on ITV. But we'll take a short break now to bring you the paper's update on the program this morning. Stay with us.
Metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body.
All right, thank you so much for staying with us on the program still this morning on ITV from our Benin Center. Let's take a look at what the papers are saying this morning. Our first point of call is going to be This Day newspaper with the headlines there. FG places nation security on red alert. FG places nation security on red alert. That is what This Day is reporting. And also, you can also see that U.S. Congressman confirms meeting FG's delegation over alleged Christian genocide. U.S. Congressman confirms meeting federal government's delegation over alleged Christian genocide in Nigeria. Also above the man's head at NISO stakeholders meeting, FG vows estimated billing to end in 3 years. FG estimated billing to end in 3 years. That's above the masthead there. Up to the next one, which is the Tribune. The Tribune is saying terrorism. NLC, NJI, CAN, others call for decisive action. Terrorism. NLC, that's the Nigerian Labour Congress. NJI, National Judicial Institute. CAN, that's Christian Association of Nigeria. Others call for decisive action against terrorism. Ribadu Egbetokun Fagbemi lead 10-man FG delegation to U.S. to meet Congressman Moore. Ribadu Egbetokun Fagbemi lead 10-man FG Congress delegation to U.S. to meet Congressman Moore. You can find that in page 20 of the Tribune. Also, as FG says, Nigeria's security put on highest alert ever. Sodia's take over Kwara community. Sodia's take over Kwara community. Why youth block Ilorin Kaba Highway. Shetima in Kebbi says abductors of schoolgirls will face the law. Kebbi LGA chairman releases names of abducted schoolgirls and refutes claim they are Christians. This is what I'm talking about. So you can't be telling us the religion they belong to. That is the problem we're having. We don't want to hear the religions. People were abducted. People were kidnapped. Girls were kidnapped. So don't tell us whether they are Christians or they are Muslims. That's not a statement to make. It's not a... This is the problem with Nigeria. We're talking about children that was kidnapped. A local government chairman in that area is coming out to tell us they are not Christian. So who should be kidnapped? Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, ATR? We really have a long way to go in this country. Like a very, 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 very long way. Until we purge our hearts from this whole religious thing that we so much tie to our life. You have to be a Christian to apply for a job. You have to be a Muslim to apply for this job. You have to be a Muslim to be enlisted into this ministry. You have to be a traditional worshiper for you. Come on. Are you a Nigerian? Yes. Should you get a job? If you merit it, get it. Should you be given the appointment? Yes. If you merit it, they give it to you. So we shouldn't bring in religion, bring in tribe, bring in political party. We can't move forward as a people if we continue in this manner. A local government chairman talking about whether they are Christians or they are Muslim. So who is good to be kidnapped? The Muslim or the Christian? It's high time we get out of this whole mentality and backward mindset of religion and psychophancy. I think that's what that's the highest I can say that it is. The Nation is also reporting the same thing. Attacks. Tinubu puts troop on highest ever red alert in Nigeria. That's what the Nation is saying. Above the masthead, ISWAP leader jailed 20 years over terror attacks. And on business, where capital gain tax to make capital markets more competitive and investors friendly. In page 5, Olubadan to elevate top Ibadan chiefs tomorrow. Page 4 of the Nation, Daniel remains bona fide APC member. Party tells Ogun chapter. Okay, so that's talking about the former governor of the state, Benga Daniels. Below that, on page 3, you can see police seals off PDP headquarters with barbed wires. All right, police seals off PDP headquarters with barbed wires. You can see the picture down there. The PDP is in. Somebody said they are in ICU. From ICU, they've moved them to the mortuary. So we want to see if the religious, religious people, the religious belief can actually happen. If a miracle can happen to the PDP, we're told that somebody died in the scripture, Lazarus, after 3 days, he rose. Jesus went there to resurrect him. So let's see if anybody can resurrect the PDP from the coma or the death it is right now. That will be our crossover conversation. Above that, you can see U.S. targeted killing claims as emboldened terrorists, says federal government. U.S. targeted killings claim has emboldened terrorists, says federal government. So I came across this very early this morning, where the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, was saying that because Donald Trump came out to speak, or he said something on a social platform, that was what triggered what has happened within 3 days. Then I begin to ask myself questions. Our leaders, do they think? It's a question. It's not an insult. Do they think? Do they have the people at heart? Somebody like the Secretary to the Government of the Federation coming out to say that it's because Donald Trump, on his Truth Social posted that Nigeria is a country of particular concern. That was what triggered the recent killing, abduction, and other things that have happened within the past 2-3 days. My heart bled when I read that on the national dailies. The person of Senator George Akume, someone who has been a senator before, you are the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. That's the only thing you can say. Instead of you guys to be talking of looking at solutions to ending the problem. The person who sat there now as the president in 2014 said Jonathan should resign because of insecurity. Now you are there as the president, you can't even do anything, or you are not even doing anything. All you bother about is traveling out of the country, going for summits that does not yield positive result to Nigeria. Then the Secretary to the Government of the Federation is saying that it is because Donald Trump posted. That was what triggered the renewed attack. So sad. Daily Trust is also leading with bandit abduct 30 in Kwara church attack. Okay, that has been up. You can see the pictures there. Also, we can also see Kirby releases names of kidnapped school girls. Above it, I lost 30 shop in Gombe Market Inferno. A trader is speaking. A PDP crisis, police barricade Wadata House, that's the PDP secretariat. ISWAP leader bags 20 years jail term. Below that, you can see how mosquito coil fire killed family of 4 in Kano. How mosquito coil fire killed family of 4 in Kano. This is really, really, really sad. Over the years, we've always talked about things like this and generator fumes, carbon monoxide that is emitted from the generators. Don't put it close to your apartment. Before you sleep, put it off to avoid stories that touch. If mosquito coil fumes can do this, even we've seen situation of candlelight and all that. So please, we should be careful in our homes. When you are leaving your house, switch off all your electrical appliances. The only thing that you can leave is your refrigerator on, and that refrigerator should have a stabilizer to regulate just in case. These are some of the things we can avoid on our own, but I don't know whether I should call it negligence or I should call it a nonchalant attitude. So I can't imagine why you're leaving the house, all your electrical appliances are on, your TV, those of you that use electric cookers, you keep it on and you leave there. You are not only endangering your apartment, you are endangering other of your neighbors and everybody living in that apartment, because when it happens, it's going to spread. The Hammertown is already breezing in, and we know how the season is. So let's be very, very careful with how we leave appliances, whether electrical, whether mosquito coil, whether generators, candle light. Let's just be very, very careful. Incidences like this is not what we're supposed to be hearing in 2025. It saddens. Let's look at the next one, which is the Guardian newspaper, which is saying outrage over rising abduction attacks as army rallies 24,000 recruits. This also made me laugh this morning when I came across it. So the problem is it insufficient manpower that is causing the insecurity? I don't think so. Okay, outrage over rising abductions attack as army rallies 24,000 recruits. So if you have interest in joining the army, they are calling on you to come join and help them fight insecurity. Page 4. SMBLF fears Nigeria's drifting toward a one-party state rule. On page 4 still, alleged Christian genocide. FG accuses US of inciting violent group. Okay, this was what I was saying earlier. FG is accusing the US of inciting violent groups. On page 4 still, federal government, state, local government shares 2.09 trillion naira as October revenue. Okay, I'll give you that update on the next business show. I have that information fully for you, the breakdown by 10 on the business show. I'll give you that information properly. So just sit close to your television set. All right, below that you can see 230 million Nigerians to unseat Tinubu. Defecting governors El Rufai says 230 million Nigerians set to unseat Tinubu. Defecting governors El Rufai says. You can find that in page 35 of The Guardian. Also, Governor Yusuf present 1.3 trillion 2026 1.36 trillion 2026 budget. You can find that in page 35. Still, Cross River to begin forensic audit over civil servant certificates in January. Cross River to begin forensic audit of civil servant certificates in January. I continue to ask myself, how did they get the job in the first place? Nigeria, the more you look, the more you see. That is what happens in this country. Okay, we still have another paper to look at before we start up the conversation. Okay, that's how we'll call it a wrap on the newspaper segment on the program this morning. So we'll take a break now. Let me join my guest, PDP chieftains. Let's look at the brewing crisis, unending. Yes, unending crisis in the PDP. Will the party survive before 2027, or PDP is on its way to extinction? The PDP chieftains will join me. They will tell us. We will hear from them. Let's know. Nigeria is bleeding. We need a strong opposition who can speak on behalf of the people. An opposition who can do things differently. But it seems like the PDP is not united. The party is in disarray. What is the problem? But we'll hear from my guest, who are PDP chieftains on the show this morning. But let's take a break before we start up the conversation. Stay with us.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors.
Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Now, let's begin the conversation and have a public affairs commentator, also a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, who is joining me virtually on the show this morning via Zoom from Abuja. I have the person of Goodluck Osarete, a member of the PDP, and also a public affairs commentator. Good to have you on the show this morning, Honorable Goodluck.
Yeah, good morning, you can hear me. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. First, can you walk us through how this whole issues in the PDP started? A lot of persons will tell you the whole problem began since 2023 after the 2023 general election. But give us a brief. You are an insider, so I'm pretty sure you have an understanding better than those of us on the other side of the divide who are not politicians. Walk us through. Can you hear me? All right, I think we're having some kind of challenges right there. Okay, if you can hear me clearly, good luck. Did you hear my question?
No, maybe you should take it again, please, if you don't mind. Can you take it again, please, your question? Yes. Can you take your question again? I can't hear you from here. I can't hear you, please.
Asking, can you walk us through the issues in the PDP, how it all started? Because a lot of persons will tell you the whole issue began since 2023 after the presidential election, the whole Wike did not get the ticket and all of that. Just give us a brief of how this whole back and forth in the PDP started.
All right. Good morning to you and good morning to our viewers. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. The crisis within the PDP didn't just start in 2023, but I think we saw a full glare of it in 2023. So I would say that the problem of the PDP actually started since 2015 when some group of persons, or for whatever reasons, the party decided to leave power, in quotes. So that's when it started. But what we saw in 2023 was a situation where some people are deliberately decided to tear the party apart along the line of ambition, political ambition. So that's exactly what we're still battling with today. No matter what it is, I believe those are personnel, dramatic personnel that were involved. Some are no longer in the People's Democratic Party, while some are there and they are still they are causing serious problems, while others are also with the ruling government of the APC at the federal level. But they're trying to get hold of the party for their personal, or what I would call selfish ambition. So that's exactly what is happening. And again, you will see that even some of those that attempted to tear the party apart in 2023, some of them now have said that, look, there is need for us to reposition this party now. They want to take up the responsibility to take up, rebuilding the party and to put it in place. And that is where that interest, is still kind of, bringing up itself again. And from what we are seeing in the past days now, it is evidence that something is happening. And I'm pretty sure that solution is coming, that the PDP is going to reposition itself as a formidable position, because there's no, in democracy, the beauty of democracy is opposition, a formidable opposition. And why do you think that the PDP, because of this internal trouble, which is hinged on interest, and that has a direct effect on 2027? So that is why you are seeing this bickering, this something that looks like a gladiator combat, fighting for the soul of the party and all of that. So it all ties to 2027. And at the end of the day, you can imagine that a political party as big as the People's Democratic Party, somebody saying that it shouldn't feed a candidate because his interest lies somewhere else. So it will be most embarrassing and it will be most disgraceful for the PDP not to feed a candidate. And I believe with a strong internal resolution mechanism, the PDP will be able to put itself back, to play the role of opposition. And you can see that since the election of the new ESCOs, the new National Publicity Secretary, the person of Ili Emebong, has been up to the task, putting the government on its toes and all of that. And that's exactly what opposition is supposed to do. And the ruling government should make sure that they allow the opposition to be able to strive and to, discharge its duties, not the way they are suffocating the political space, the political atmosphere. They are strengthening it with coercive force and all other political maneuvering to not enable the PDP to carry out its function as a formidable opposition. And by the way, no matter how you look at it, no matter how you see it, no matter how you rationalize it, the PDP still remains the biggest opposition party in Nigeria as we currently have. And that is why you see that both forces from within and outside, they are fighting for the PDP not to get its feet, to be able to stand and play the role of opposition. And I can tell you, where the party is happy that this is happening now, not very close to the election. And I'm pretty sure, before now till maybe early or middle of next year, everybody will know where they belong. And I'm very sure the crisis would have been resolved. So that is exactly what it is. Now, the cause of the crisis is multifaceted, but the cross of it, the pivot of it is about interest, about individual interest. And of course, it is not new to everyone today that the federal, the FCT minister, the person of Nyesom Wike, trying to get hold of the party. He has also declared to support President Tinubu for a second tenure in 2027. So you can imagine if you are in PDP, being a minister under the APC, you declare the support for APC. Ordinarily, one would have expected that, okay, since you have declared your support, allow the party to run itself, allow the party to also focus on its agenda in producing, the presidential candidate, or let them deal with their internal dealings, instead of these coercive force, instead of these, brutal strategy to actually weaken the party, that is just the problem. Because if opposition cannot survive in democracy, then there shouldn't be anything like democracy. It will become a dictatorship. So that's exactly where we are. And the PDP, from the event we've seen so far, you saw what happened at Wadada Plaza, about, I think, 2 or 3 days ago. So you can see that, yes, people are now saying that, no, enough is enough. What exactly the problem is, So that is what you saw on that day. And sometimes at some point in time, somehow the way to solve problems is to make it, you externalize it in form of causing more problems so that everybody will now join heads to say, now, what exactly the issues are? What are we dealing with? That is exactly the problem. And I'm very sure the PDP will put itself in order to stand, as a formidable opposition to this current APC government. So that's exactly what is on ground right now.
Let me ask you, because we from this side of the divide, the media, we are seeing this issue as a show of supremacy, power, who should be in charge of the political party. Is that what it really is? Because it seems like the minister of the Federal Capital Territory on one hand want to hold the party while he is working for the ruling or Progressive Congress. So he wants to be a lord in the party. Is this really a struggle of power between Nyesom Wike and other members of the political party? Because we've seen those who are loyal to the Wike's camp, who also held their NWC meeting. That was on Tuesday, the same day the new national factional, because we like to use the term factional. But at the end of the day, you guys will resolve your problem and you say it was internal political affairs. So let me factionalize it. The Wike faction and the Turaki faction. They also went to the secretariat, the Wadata Plaza, and they suspended some persons. It was a bit laughable to another camp. Is this issue in the PDP, is it a power struggle or it is more than that? Did you hear my question?
I got your question very well. So what we're saying right now, just like what you just said, it's battle for supremacy. And who are these dramatic personnel fighting for the supremacy? And why do you think they are fighting for it? You know, it's about political dominance and supremacy for political interest. And by the way, if democracy was to function in a sane society, the Iron Group should have been arrested by now for constituting nuisance at the PDP National Secretariat for those their basic actions they carried out on Tuesday at the PDP National Secretariat. Because, you know, the problem is that the PDP carried out a convention, and you and I know that by the Constitution, the convention is the highest organ-making body, or the highest making organ of any political party. They went into a convention and they elected new ESCO, which INEC has recognized. So when you are still talking about faction in the PDP, you are not correct. It is not correct to say that there is still a faction in the People's Democratic Party. No. After the convention, those new elected ESCO, they were going to Wadada Plaza to actually carry out their inauguration. And from nowhere, the Iron Group or the Wike-sponsored group, you know, they scheduled a meeting, an emergency meeting. They won't call it an emergency meeting that same Tuesday. And that was what led to that fact and that fiasco you saw at Wadana Plaza. So it's just unfortunate. And at the end of the day, you ask, what is the interest of Nyesom Wike in this, the FCT minister? You have declared your support for Asiwaju, fine. You supported him, and we are in 2025, or from 2024, you have already declared your support for Asiwaju. Now you are saying that the PDP must not produce a candidate to challenge President Bola Tinubu in 2027. So you can actually see what is happening. And the President Tinubu, being a president under the APC or the APC, is even more interested to see that the PDP is unable to field a candidate. And that is the job Nyesom Wike is doing. You know, that is why you see that they could even seal up the secretariat yesterday, because he is the FCT minister, you know, the commissioner of police in FCT, you know, will be answerable to him. And with all this, with the ruling power's influence, they will be able to achieve certain things. But that is not ideal for democracy. So the greed of one person is what is actually trying to tear the party apart. And believe me, the PDP has gone through a lot of struggles. You know, they've gone through a lot of internal crises. And as of today, you know, they are still standing. And this phase will also pass by, you know. So that's exactly what is happening. It is the ambition of Nyesom Wike to prevent the PDP from producing a candidate. And the PDP is so large. You know, you see men and women, you know, in the politics of this Nigeria. They piloted the affairs of this country. They have the experience of what party politics is, of what governance is. And they are saying that, no, this cannot happen. One person cannot hijack the party and pocket the party, you know, put it just for his own interest, not for the interest of the party now. You can imagine how disgraceful it would be for a big political party as PDP not to feed a candidate, and not because of any other reason, because of the interest of one man, you know, who want to just be a dictator over everybody, over the affairs of the party. And
all right.
Honorable Saite,
let me pause you there. because I have another guest who is joining me, also a chieftain of the PDP on the program. Let's speak with him. Honorable Esusa Ewere joins us on the program too, virtually on the show. Good morning and good to have you, sir, on the program.
Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you, and thank you for having me.
All right, thank you for joining us. The PDP has been in how do I put it now? I'm looking for the right words to use that will not offend you because you are a member of the PDP. But my question to you is: the PDP sick? Does it need medical attention in order to be able to survive? 2027 is just a few months away. Is your party ready for the job, the task ahead with the whole internal, call it internal crisis, call it factional crisis that is happening within the PDP? Is your party, is the PDP ready to be a strong opposition come 2027 after the show of shame that played out at the Wadata Plaza, the party secretariat on Tuesday in Abuja?
Thank you so much, my brother, for that question. And very warm regards to my brother Goodluck, who has been doing justice on the matter. I think that the party is ready. If you see what happened at the convention in Ibadan, you understand that the party has just been redeemed from the shackles of political suppression. The state capture being sponsored by the Tinubu-led administration using the FCT minister, who is a minister of the APC, but who still wants to hold on to the party, who still wants to hold on to the PDP. I think it all boils down to the idea of trying to suppress opposition and reduce Nigeria to a one-party state. And we have said that cannot happen. And you can see that the PDP, ably led by the new chairman, Turaki, is being resuscitated, is being revived, and we strongly believe that the party come 2027 will be ready, will be more than ready to rally the vast majority of Nigerians to ensure that we bring a stop to these APC shenanigans. Because if you see what is happening, you'll be amazed, you'll be shocked at the speed at which the APC is trying to reduce opposition in Nigeria. I don't think it's something that anybody should be happy about or celebrate about. So that is why you see the PDP is all out. The convention has been successfully done, and the first NEC meeting was held just after the convention. And you saw the charade that the APC is using a wicket to do. And thank God we were able to resist them. Thank God that the police was neutral. And we strongly believe that it will remain so, and the PDP will be ready by 2027 to rally Nigerians against the APC. I strongly believe that, my brother. I strongly believe.
Talking about the convention that took place in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, a lot has been said about that convention, that it was an illegal before I go back to Goodluck, let me ask you this. Because you made mention of the convention, I was going there, but let me, just ask now that the conversation is still on. Now, a lot of persons said that convention was an illegal convention, especially the Wike's faction, because I will always factionalize. Even when you guys are saying there's no faction, we are the media. We don't want a situation whereby tomorrow they come and tell us, when you settle your scores, both the Wike and all, they will say that media house said. You understand? So we try to factionalize it. They said it was an illegal convention. A federal high court sitting in Abuja gave an order restraining that convention to hold. Why another state high court? We know that in law, a federal high court and a state high court have what we call the concurrent and coordinated jurisdiction. So they act side and side. They are of the same jurisdiction. They run down to the Oyo State High Court and they sought for an order. The convention held. By the statement, did you think that convention that produced Aminu Turaki as the national chairman and Ini Bong, the secretary who has been speaking in other media houses, I've seen his vibe and all that, was it illegal by law? Illegal convention? Because we saw that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, was not there. They did not monitor the convention. So can you say that was a convention, or it was just a gathering of some factional members who elected somebody?
Absolutely. That convention stands. And I must tell you that Turaki has been accepted as the elected national chairman of the PDP by the Independent National Electoral Commission. the body responsible for elections in Nigeria. That convention stands and is legal and is binding. So you can see the hiccups we're having a fallout from that convention. Their idea was that the convention should not hold. And taking that convention away from Abuja, before you could see that when parties do convention, particularly the PDP, you see police barricading the areas, barricading the gates, barricading the entrance and all that, and people are not able to access the venue. But this time it was an open situation. So the party members, party people were able to access. The convention held smoothly, and the processes of the convention followed due legal proceedings. So I strongly believe that the convention is legal, the convention is acceptable, and that INEC has also given its a nod to the convention, gives it a very strong backing. And we strongly believe that the Turaki-led PDP will be able to rally Nigerians and rescue our dear country from the shackles of the APC, who is trying to slide Nigeria into a one-party state.
Okay. Now, are you guys not scared about this whole crisis, how it will affect your input? Because you know what the scripture, the Holy Book says, that a house divided against itself cannot stand. Are you guys not scared that the PDP is divided against itself? And there may be possibility of you guys not being able to stand in 2026, which is the penultimate year to 2027, which is the election year. Because before you know, campaign will start. Now you are divided against yourself. Somehow. You guys are saying it's not faction, but that is how we see it from this end. Because tomorrow you might reconcile. The same minister might come tomorrow and say, okay, he has agreed to terms and conditions and all that. Don't you think if this continues, it's going to hamper your chances of campaign, getting members into your political parties? Because we've seen the whole defection that have trailed the PDP over the weeks, from the governor of Delta State, Sheriff Oboriwori, to the governor of Enugu State, Peter Mbah, to the governor of Bayelsa State, the person of Senator Doyedri. There was supposed to be a defection yesterday by Agbo Kefas, also, no, Taraba State governor. But somehow he said he postponed it. Is this not, does this not call for concern for your party? That it seems like you guys are losing, your visibility to the Nigerian people. A party that has been there since 1999, the biggest political party in Africa, as you claim, but it seems like you are not being ridiculed.
Tinubu-led administration has focused more on politics, 2027, over and above delivering the dividends of democracy, as it promised in 2023. I would have thought that we will be focused more on governance, we will be focused more on ideas, reforms, developments. But that governors are leaving the PDP and joining the APC is also another big shame on the part of the governors. But you will not blame them. It is because they believe that Tinubu does not have the capacity to manage a fair and credible election. That under the Tinubu-led administration, INEC does not have the capacity to manage a fair and credible election. So you can see what happened in Edo in 2024, from the election to the tribunal and down to Supreme Court and all of that. So all of that, the governors have seen all that, and they strongly believe that under the Tinubu-led APC, you cannot have a fair and credible election, and that is an indictment on the government of APC and Tinubu. On the other hand, however, it is the people that own the party, not the governors. If you see the people that are leaving the PDP to join the APC, it is just the governors. The people who truly own the party are not leaving.
But they are going with their cabinet members and those even at the local level. We saw what happened in Delta.
Of course, they work under the governor. They are appointees of the governor. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they are leaving the party. They may be leaving the party in body, but in spirit they are with the party. You saw what was happening I'm sure you are following events in Akwa Ibom State. That the
yes.
governor or the pastor governor has just suspended, sacked 2 of his aides.
His aide that did not follow
because
him.
they attended the convention
Yes.
in the PDP convention in Ibadan, even though
Yes.
they are APC, they are members of they are supposed to be members of the APC, just as the governor is. So it is the governors that are leaving the party because they are scared, because they believe that under the Tinubu APC-led administration, you cannot have a fair and credible and justiciable election. That is why they are leaving, because many of them have to return. And you also know that many of them also have issues with finances and all of that. But basically, that the Tinubu-led APC cannot ensure a fair and credible election. That is the reason they are leaving. And it is only them, the people, Nigerians, who are the true voters, who come out en masse on election day to cast their votes, are not necessarily leaving. Nigerians are looking for a party that is ready. Nigerians are looking for a party with vision.
Is the PDP ready?
For a party with credibility.
Is the PDP ready with the crisis?
The only party that has shown such readiness now is the PDP. Despite the hiccups here and there, the only party that has shown such readiness is the PDP. And whatever you are saying now is not new. The PDP has its way of going around these old issues and recovery and getting back on track. And that is what we are doing right now. 2027 is not far away anymore. So we have to organize, we have to galvanize ourselves, we have to find a way to rally other political parties, rally the rest of Nigerians at home and abroad, and send these APC guys out of the system, because you can see what is happening across the country. Terrorists have taken over the entire system. 11 communities in Igbobaha has been taken over by bandits.
Under PDP's administration, this was also happening then.
And it was happening, but it wasn't this much, and it was being checked. But but this time it is not being checked. Okay. You don't even have policies and programs to fight insecurity. Administrations are run on policies and programs, and that's what we keep talking about every day. Your policies and programs must be clearly spelled out on the table, and you must be able to rally relevant agencies to tackle these guys. But in this case, you don't have policies and programs, you don't have a vision, you don't have a direction of where you are going. The only thing we see are press statements, charging security agencies, condemning the killings and all of that. But it ought to go beyond that. There must be policies and programs to attack these guys. There must be policies and programs for Nigerians to be encouraged, to be defended. And that is what we are talking about. It is not just about releasing press statements every day whenever these things happen.
Okay, let me go back to Goodluck Osaretin before I come back again to you. Now, Goodluck, if you're still there, if you can hear me clearly, you heard Honorable Esusawere and all he have said. Now, my question to you would be, the whole issue of Wike is being used to destabilize the PDP. Is this the voice of Esau and the hand of Jacob, or the hand of Jacob or the voice of Esau, like the Bible is saying? Probably it is the it is the ruling party, like he alleged, that is using the minister of the FCT to destabilize the PDP in this nature. From your own perspective, or from majority of your members in the PDP, is that what is really happening? Is Wike using the state resources to capture the PDP? Goodluck, are you there? Can you hear me? Okay, let me leave that question to you, Honorable Esosa. Please, can you throw more light on that question?
Goodluck can hear you. I think Goodluck can hear you. Goodluck can hear you.
Goodluck, did you hear the question I asked?
Question very well. I was just thanking my prof, Elore Esosa, always a brilliant submission. You know, the thing is that just like the narrative you painted is true, whether the hands of Esau, the man from Jacob, and all of that. So that scenario is obvious even to the deaf. You know, the blind, I mean, even the deaf is audible enough to the deaf. That Wike is using the instrumentality of the state. It's not like a tool in the hands of the ruling party, you know, to completely destroy the party, to destroy the People's Democratic Party. And that is exactly what they are doing. That's what they are using him to do. And if you tilt it to Edo State, in the last governorship election, you also have where the camp lawyer to Wike was used to do a dirty job and all of that. And even at the end of the day, you saw the narrative that, the election was almost about Wike and all of that. So you could see that they're actually using him as a tool to destroy the party. And because of this, you see that even in Edo State right now, governance and the welfareism of the people have been grossly lackadaisized, and they want a system where they will not be challenged, where they will not be put on their toes, where they will not be talked about. And that's what they are happy for. They want a system that is waxed, so not for the people, but for the greed of one man. So people are saying that no, this cannot happen. We're in a democracy, this should not be allowed. Exactly what Ezosa actually said is that look, in Edo State today, you will see that there is no governance. There is no governance on ground at all in Edo State, because you cannot talk of governance and you have a governor in 2025 is more obsessed about the re-election of a president for 2027, even more than the president himself. He's more obsessed about him being re-elected because he knows that his failures, his many failures, his unending failures in governance is only going to be covered by the reading and brutal power of the ruling government to get him re-elected. So that is why you see all you are seeing today. It's a battle. And that is why you say that even the governors that are leading the PDP right now, are they living based on ideology? They are not living based on ideology. They are living based on the brute force that they believe that the ruling power at the center can use to ask them in 2027, come 2027. But they believe that they don't know, or they even forgot that what happened in 2023 across board, it is no longer about the issue of the ruling party or who's in power, whether they're a governor or a president. People actually revolted, and that is why what we saw in Delta State, where you have Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, who has been a senator, who has been secretary to the government, and a governor for 8 years. At the end of the day, they lost out in power. So you saw what happened in Abia and so many other states. So Nigerians are now saying that, look, we are going to have a responsible system. We are going to take the destiny into our hands to in fact, to actually provide solutions to what is going to happen. So Wike himself, as it is today, the federal government is using him, the APC is using him, and what I know is that.
But that's an allegation. It's an allegation. It's an alleged statement.
No, it's not an allegation. No. It's clear. There's no allegation. If you look at it from the series of legal battles, court cases across the federation, it is always pointed to him. But you saw there was a time, the PDP National Working Committee, IAU and INEC, they were forced to go to the Supreme Court to actually interpret a judgment. And the Supreme Court has said that, look, this thing is an internal party affair. Go and use the internal party mechanism to resolve this. And in his wisdom, the Saraki-led Reconciliation Committee actually said that IAU should be reinstated. So at the end of the day, when you look at the litigations in court, those that never wanted the convention to hold, then you look at their interest. What is their interest? Their interest is that they want to get the soul of the party, hold it for their selfish interest, and then collapse it to assimilate in 2027. So you cannot allow that to happen. This is exactly what happened now. That's why the convention at Ibadan had a legal footing and it had a legal backing. In all ramifications, INEC has acknowledged that the party is now being repositioned. I believe that Kuraki, being a senior advocate of Nigeria and with his experience in governance and in policies, even as a minister, with other elected experts, you will be able to deliver a formidable opposition. And like what is even happening in Edo State now, you can even see that the crop of experts now you have in Edo State, they are equally up to the task. You will see that the state publicity secretary, the president of Barrister Noah, you have the organizing secretary, Ogbedi Falusibo, and another of my great brother, what was it called, Iduboy, and this my prof too. You can see that they are keeping the space very active, putting the government on its toes, and that's exactly what the beauty of democracy is. But even Satan will agree with you today that the job Wike is doing it for his employer. The person that appointed him That's the president of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is in the APC, who has an ambition. So it's clear enough to say that yes, Wike is trying to destroy the Igbo Democratic Party. And as I always say, there shouldn't be any anger. You know, your anger should not get to the stage of you destroying your home. And at the end of the day, everybody becomes helpless, even himself. Because you cannot find comfort in the better place in the house of your opposition when it is raining or when it's getting so cold in night. So everybody should not be responsible. But let me tell you, the PDP is the only party in Nigeria today that in every nook and cranny of this country, you go to the world, you go to the villages, you go to communities, you go to cities and everywhere. The only party structure you can see, whether active or not active at the moment, is the People's Democratic Party. So the leaders in the party, those that have allotted the affairs of this country with all sensibility, all sense of wisdom and all of that, they are still within the PDP. The likes of Professor Jerry Ghana and of them are coming out now to say that, look, this cannot happen. You know, Wike has benefited from the People's Democratic Party. And probably because he didn't know the pains it took the leader to form this party. And that's why he feel that he can localize the interest of the party to the extent of destroying it. You know, that's exactly what is on the ground. And people are saying that no, this is not going to happen. You know, the NEC had a meeting to stipulate the telephone convention. At some point in time, Iron said that the signature was false and all of that. He could not prove that in court. So that's all manner of thoughts to stop the convention and all of that. So the PDP has surmounted series of challenges along the line and been the oldest political party in this country that has also ruled Nigeria for the longest duration. And I believe in the wisdom of all our leaders to be able to put the party on a strong footing again, and with the members and supporters and the generality of Nigeria who are seeing what is happening in the country right now, that where we are coming from is far, far better than where we are and where we may likely be if the PDP is not returned to power. So it is an effort by the PDP and entire Nigerians. You know, that's exactly what we are seeing, because you don't need a social to tell you that what is happening in the Edo State right now and in the country, you know, is better than where we are coming from in the days of the People's Democratic Party. So it is a task now for everyone, and that is why you are getting the PDP is getting sympathy for all Nigerians to be able to get the footing. There's no fashion. I don't want you to use the word fashion. There's no more fashion in PDP. We have a new ESCO right now. They should be allowed to feature. So that's exactly the situation.
Okay, Honorable, good luck. Oh, sorry. Let me cut you there. Even when you people try to say there is no faction in the media, there's faction in the PDP. It is the language we use. Until you now reconcile and tell us there is no faction, we will now see everybody working together, sane. You know, law will tell you evidence that is cumulatively and that can be seen. So please, permit me for the course of this interview to use the word faction. Now, let me come to you, Honorable Esosai. We're pressed for time, so let's manage the little time we have remaining before we wrap up this conversation. Now, do you foresee a formidable, a strong party again? Because growing up then as a very young child, you know, in the early 2000, mid 2000, we saw a PDP, a party that everybody have this, you know, ginger for, power to the people party and all that. But it seems like you guys, that power is no longer there. Do you foresee a unified PDP, both the Wike faction coming to the Turaki faction between now and 2027 to form a strong opposition, not just a strong opposition, a formidable opposition that can unseat the incumbent APC from the federal level?
Well, of course, the party is open to participatory democracy. The PDP is actually a participatory party. It's not a party that restricts. Nigerians are now waking up. You saw what happened a few days ago in Abuja. Nigerians are now waking up. Democracy is about participatory. Democracy is about opening the doors for participatory politics. So the APC does not want to have any contest in the 2027 general election. It is either you are voting for APC or you are not voting at all, and that is not what it should be in contemporary democracy. So the PDP has come to stay. It is also open to discussion. It is open to getting back its members. It is open to getting back new members. And for members who were once PDP who wish to return to the party, I think the party is always open. The arms are open to welcome them. So even if Wike wants to return to the party, I don't think the party will stop him, but he has to genuinely repent from what he's currently doing. He has to genuinely repent. Himself and those that are following him have to genuinely repent. And mind you, they have been expelled just a few days ago. So the party would have to sit down and discuss around that and see that and find a way to make possibly readmit them. But in the absence, but where they do not genuinely repent, I don't think the party will be discussing in that direction of readmitting them.
Before I go to good luck before we wrap up the segment, let me ask you this. Your secretariat in Abuja has been barricaded. That's the Wadata Plaza. A lot of persons have come out to say there is Wahala in Wadata, but whether there is Wahala or not, you people will decide that. It's just like a man who is locked outside his house by his maybe domestic staff. That is what it seems like right now in PDP. Your secretariat has been barricaded. We saw security men all over the Wadata Plaza in Abuja. How would you guys gain access back to your house, which is the plaza? Mind you, that same plaza was at the point locked by that same Wike. I said the PDP did not pay ground rent to the FCDA. How did this new executive, like you claim, the Turaki factional executive, how do they gain access to be going to the secretariat to carry
a party like that? It is a shame on their part. And I think if you want to register with the APC, to join the APC and allow the PDP to do their thing. The party secretariat being barricaded, I think that will be discussed, and those barricades will be removed, and the party will get back its secretariat, so that members will continue to hold their meetings in the secretariat. That is not an issue. It has happened before. We have seen it on several occasions, and we have seen that kind of situation on several occasions. And I think there is a way that the party always goes around that. Thank you, my brother.
Okay. All right, thank you very much, Honorable Esusa Ewere, for your time. But before we call it a wrap, good luck, Osaratin. Let me get your parting shot. Your advice to your party members, both those on the PDP's camp and those in the Turaki camp, before we call it a wrap on the show.
When we are talking of camp, you are still repeating that. I think you are still trying to get it wrong. There is no more camp. Some people have been expelled from the party. It happens that it's just like some people do not have shade. The camp of Anyauna, like and not even truly happy that the party they came to own, so to say in quotes, that the headquarters is filled by Nigerian police. That is to even tell you that you just say you are fighting against yourself. So we understand what is going to happen. Like what my honorable has just said, is that at the appointed time, that place will be reopened. And the Nigerians are happy that this crisis is coming up now, not in a few months to election or just a year to election.
All right.
It is very important now that
we're pressed for time and we need to go. I really want to thank you, gentlemen, for being a part of the show this morning. Honorable Goodluck Osaratin and Honorable Esusa Ewere, both PDP chieftains, who joined me this morning to look at the unending crisis in the PDP. Is the party ready for 2027? Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time. We'll take a break now. TMI continues shortly. Stay with us.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
ITV, certainly the best.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning for joining us.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes.
I'm sure you've been following what has been happening with the People's Democratic Party, and currently the Secretariat of the party is sealed.
Yeah, well, during the convention, an opportunity with some of the key leaders of the various stakeholders. And what is playing out? Any person of reason and logic ITV, certainly the best. then will give party tickets to governors who want to contest, to senator contest, and to president contest. So you're making it easier for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to have a work in 2027. And you will not blame him. That's the truth of the matter. And I don't see how this matter will be resolved the direction that they are going. Nada. And what makes the PDP convention in Ibadan, what queries it further was the chairman of the convention, Governor Fitili, standing, aside from the decision of the convention to suspend the people that they suspended. So that means even within that side, there is a crack. If the chairman of your convention is saying, no, I'm not part of this move to suspend these people from the party, the chairman of your convention. So where do we stand? It's a mess. Honestly, we can talk about it. It is only people like Wiki that can tell us. Maybe the two of them go and lock themselves up in a room, talk frankly, and come out with a solution. Anything outside that is going to be a long, drawn battle up until 2027, if not beyond, because legal issues are going to be involved. And people will be building on ground that they are not sure is solid. How do I go now to go and look for ticket in the Senate where the person that was handing the flag is not certain that is legitimate executive? It's a big problem.
Okay, let's look at the call by the national chairman calling international community to come and to come and intervene in the affairs of the People's Democratic Party. Would you say that call is valid?
Is that not laughable? On what ground will the international community come and resolve a political party problem? On what ground? People seem to forget that there is this concept of sovereignty is not negotiable in any circumstances whatsoever, except in serious case of war, outbreak of war, and total disorder. Whether you like it or not, you still have a president judgment that hold him in office. That is a sovereign state. But I think you can also express the frustration. You can pick from that the frustration put aside. I really sympathize with the Turaki team because the mileage they aimed to get this last convention, it was something you can describe as near Uhuru. Because Damagun all along had
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
ITV, certainly the best.
Has been taken by Nigerians as coming too late. Looking at the fact that all this crisis, all these things started right before the 2023 general elections. What's your take on that? Isn't it too late?
Well, like I said earlier, the concept of too late is a question of when did you have the guy? It's like you are traveling on the road and you are behind the trailer. Did you get? And you are behind the trailer and you need to overtake on the one-way lane. And you need to overtake the trailer. You don't just put the head and say, no, I can't continue to stay behind the trailer. You wait till the other lane is clear enough for you to move. The Damagun factor being in link with Wiki was the reason why the matter delayed so long. And you cannot do anything when the Damagun is still with Wiki. I'm telling you that this decision was because Damagun came to his senses by whatever means and said enough. This thing wouldn't have happened if Damagun was still wicked. So it was a question of at the point where they could take the shot. This is the only time they could take the shot, and it's still a strategic time to take the shot because, like I said, even the secretary that is so it's next to it's turning short.
This morning on ITV, we'll be taking a short break, and when we return, the program continues. Our guest will still be here with us.
Monitoring the aftermath of the standoff that unfolded at the PDP National Secretariat for the most part of Tuesday, had on one side was the national chairman of the party, Kabiru Turaki SAN, who arrived with the support of the governors of Bauchi and Oyo states. On the opposite side stood the faction loyal to the acting national chairman, Abdurrahman Mohammed, backed strongly by the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike. The situation took another turn just a day after the confrontation, when the police officers arrived at the premises a few minutes past 9 a.m. and immediately mounted barricades reinforced with barbed wire. They blockaded entry in action. Of the moment was set up, conducted pictures, driving repeated on the complex to control and deter. is the neither faction seems willing to back down. Only time will tell how the warring groups will eventually sheath their swords and restore stability to the party. From Abuja, Joseph Kadri, ITV News.
It's still this morning on ITV, and the discussion is still the battle for the soul of the People's Democratic Party. And my guest is still here with us. The senior advocate of Nigeria, Obajide Ulubu, is still on phone for us to continue this conversation. Sir. Hello. All right, so let's look at the PDP. Right from the moment APC took over power in 2015, would you say that the People's Democratic Party has done enough as an opposition party?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for the option that you are giving me, but I'm not yet a senior advocate of Nigeria. It's a prophecy, I take it, I receive it, and so shall it be in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Right. So back to your question. Sorry, can you take the question again?
From the moment it took over power in 2015, can you say that People's Democratic Party has done what it should be doing as an opposition, a major opposition party?
Well, that has been one of the
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain, which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
ITV, certainly the best.
Stay on to this morning on ITV, broadcasting live on the network service of independent television. We sincerely apologize for the technical hiccup from our Abuja Network Center, but we'll be joining our Lagos Network Center in a couple of minutes for them to start up the conversation. But like we were saying when we started before, we had that interview conversation with my guest on the PDP's crisis. It seemed like the whole security situation, which our Lagos Network Center will be definitely talking about, the whole security issues, the killings, the kidnapping, the banditry, whatever you want to call it, ISWAP and terrorism generally, is really holding sway to the Nigerian state. And we can't really continue in this trajectory. It's only a state that does not have leaders or that is not governed by government that such can be happening. Nigeria is a sovereign state on its own, a country that have leaders. We have the president, who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, who can actually give orders to the troops to go out there to do the needful. Giving ultimatum to terrorists or bandits to surrender is not the way to go, because you continue to give them ultimatum on a daily basis. Today you are giving ultimatum, tomorrow you are giving ultimatum. They don't take you serious. They assume, oh, the government is playing around. So what they do, they go back, they strategize, they strike again. They go back, they strategize, they strike again. A country that is ready, a government that is ready to tackle security head-on, you don't give ultimatum to terrorists, to bandits, to kidnappers, to armed robbers, to killers that they should surrender. They won't surrender. Even if they do, the surrendering is not going to be a surrender from their willing heart. They surrender part of it, they leave part of it, because they know tomorrow they will definitely fall back. So what do? You use an approach. In insurgency and counter-insurgency, one of the causes under terrorism and counter-terrorism, you don't negotiate with agents, okay, non-state actors. Yeah, you don't do that, because what you do basically, you strike without letting them know. When you strike with your full force, with a squad of military, police, DSS, name all of them, I think that's what the Nigerian government should be doing at this juncture, and not telling terrorists that they should surrender. You want to negotiate with terrorists. You don't negotiate with terrorists. Putin said your duty is, the duty of God is to punish them, while my own duty is to send them to God. So let's send these guys to go and meet the Creator, and at the end of the day, definitely they will have him to answer to. They will answer to God. All right, we'll be joining our Lagos Network Center, where they bring us up to speed with their discussion segment on the program this morning. Stay with us. It's the TMI on the ITV network.
Interview with Pastor Dr. Itua Ighodalo on TMI, the senior pastor of Trinity House Zion Center. We're here to discuss the challenges of public policy making and execution in Nigeria. Pastor, thank you so much, sir, for coming.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, so I won't be doing this alone. I have my co-anchor, Josh, sitting here with me. Josh, how are you today?
I'm good.
Thank you. Pastor, before we go into the questions properly, I want to ask the topic. We have a topic for you, which is the challenge of public policies making and execution in Nigeria. What would you say are the challenges of public making policies and execution in Nigeria as at today?
Well, it is one of the primary roles of government to make policies that will guide and shape the direction of governance, the direction of the economy, the thinking of the people, the ethos and the value that the government wants to propagate. And unfortunately, we have a two-tier system, the House of Representatives and also the Senate. And then you also have the government itself, and then you have the judiciary. So you have about 4 areas by which policy can be made and shaped, and also listening to public opinion outside there. One of the challenges today is that a lot of our people in governance are slightly not well prepared for governance. Let me use those words. And I'm choosing my words very carefully. Also, they're not as exposed as they should be. Then they're not also as informed and knowledgeable as they should be. But I think the primary area of concern for me personally is that they're not focused on the people and the governance and the environment as they should be. So that is the first challenge, the lack of knowledge, the lack of preparedness of the people who are shaping our policy. The second is the sincerity, okay, and the direction to which they want to shape policy. What really do you want to do to society? How do you want society to benefit? You can see that Donald Trump has come into America, and within 9 months or so, or 6 months he's been there, he's been shaping the policy and the thinking, for good or for bad, of America, because he must have come in prepared. And this, I was reading something about Obama the other day, and he was saying that a lot of things that even a president says when he's out there, he's always been prepared for him. Somebody writes his speech, somebody shapes his thinking, somebody has decided which way they want America to go. They're just now looking at the person who will be the face of that movement. So I think that is the challenge in Nigeria, a lack of knowledge, a lack of sincerity, a lack of understanding, full understanding of what the issues are in Nigeria and what the issues we should be solving are. And then also a lack of courage. You know, some of the decisions to change and shape policy needs a lot of courage. They may not be popular on the onset, but in the long run, the outcomes of those policies will show. So these are the things that are confusing us in Nigeria. And of course, the political environment, you know, the corruption.
Pastor, sorry, let me come in there. You talked about courage, but the president, sitting president right now, a lot of people say he has the courage because some other past presidents have been saying they were going to take off the fuel subsidy. But he came in less than 1 minute or 2 minutes into his speech. He said the fuel subsidy was out. And so if you ask me, don't you think that is courageous enough for him to have said that?
Well, that's probably why he got to that presidency in the first place. He's one of the most courageous people that I know personally. And of course, one of the most courageous politicians that I know. If you hear him, he says he's prepared for everything. He's prepared to win, he's prepared to lose, he's prepared for betrayal, he's prepared for fight, he's prepared for reconciliation after a fight and betrayal. So he's been relatively courageous. And that's why he's been able to push some of his policies through. You know, the fuel subsidy, the exchange rate, floating of the naira, and so on and so forth. But you can also see that there have been a lot of policy reversals, okay? Today they'll say the price has gone this way. By the evening, protests everywhere, they'll reverse it. Tomorrow they'll say something has changed. By the afternoon, they'll reverse it and so on. So, meaning that some of those policies were not well thought through in the first place.
Okay,
and
so
maybe there was
that
not enough consultation.
Yes.
But one thing I also like is that they are quick to reverse themselves when they see that the outcry is a little bit large. So that, again, I like, because it also takes courage and humility to reverse yourself when you find that some of the policies that you have made, there's a pushback or there's a reaction that you didn't expect.
Josh, right. I know you want to talk to him.
Yeah, because Pastor made some very salient point, especially when he talked about people who are not ready for governance, who find themselves in the corridor of power. And that struck a chord in me because some persons say the kind of politics we play in Nigeria where certain persons who came into office before long have been telling you they've been making plans, preparing themselves for the job ahead. And suddenly they come in and they said they are not too familiar with the ruts they found until they got there. Now, is it a case of vying for office or for the job of the office?
Well, I like to understand what you mean by the job of the office, the responsibility.
The responsibility
of the office.
Yes.
A lot of people do not, they tend to underestimate the responsibility of the office. They tend to underestimate the import of the office, and they tend to underestimate the essence of the office. Yes. It was, I think, the President of America, Kennedy, that said, think not, what your country can do for you, but think what you can do for your country. 90% of the people in office today, and you can quote me, and if they say that I am wrong, I'll reverse myself, have not gone into office to do something for the nation. They have gone into office to fulfill ambition and to benefit themselves. Jesus Christ said those who are going to be leaders or heads should be minister. The word minister means servant. So if you say you are minister of communication, you say you are servant of communication. If you are minister of education, you are servant of education. If you are minister of Aso Rock or whatever it is, you are a servant. You are there to serve and to serve the people, not to be served.
So you think Nigeria should, be divided?
It's not a division. America is a federation, whether you like it or not. The laws in Arizona are different from the laws in California.
Sure.
The laws in California are different from the laws in New York. The laws in New York are different from the laws in Atlanta. But there's certain things that bind them together, okay? The FBI binds them together. The currency binds them together. The Supreme Court of America binds them together. So there are things that each person handles. There are things that they agree to do together. And there's a common focus that they have agreed to do together as a federating unit. What is that focus? There's a right to every American to make money and improve himself. That right must not be denied. The laws that are made must make sure that every American can improve himself and have his say and speak and not be gagged or threatened.
All right.
Okay.
That being said, my next question, is coming from what you just said earlier about education. So to speak, some persons tend to be ahead of the other, perhaps because of a gap in information. Now, we see persons who occupy, offices where they tend to play down on data. We heard some time ago a viral video of a supposed presidential candidate who was saying that statistics we go chop. So how do you think a leader who undermines the importance of data and research will do well when it comes to policy making and execution, when he knows next to nothing about what he is planning or projecting for?
It's almost impossible in this day and age to manage well without data, statistics, and information. You have a world of almost 8 billion people who have predictable outcomes in terms of needs, desires, character, attitude, and empowerment. You need statistics. The reason why we go to places like Canada and Australia is that they plan 20, 30, 50, 100 years ahead.
That's true.
This road we're going to do here, this water we're going to put here, this element we're going to put there, how is it going to affect everybody that's going to use this road in the next 20 years? They do that simulation and simulation until they agree that the road should pass here, because this is the best way for it to pass to make the maximum impact and the minimum damage. It's called the environmental impact analysis. It's based on data. So anybody who disregards data today is making a fundamental mistake. The simple adverts that people, I saw my son playing a game, watching a certain TV series attached to it. And I was wondering to myself, what makes this, it was 6 years old at that time. What makes this 6-year-old fellow so attached to this thing? The simple thing is data.
That's true.
They have done the analysis of 6-year-olds, their minds, their mentation, what they like and what they know. So they have produced something that is fascinating and captivating to them.
Pastor, let's quickly look at corruption and accountability, because you have just talked about, the other countries that plan ahead. They plan like 100 years ahead and all that. Corruption. Let's look at corruption and accountability in Nigeria. How significant does corruption affect the outcomes of well-designed public policies? Because some of these policies are well-designed. Corruption probably eats it up. And then it's a second question to follow up is, what why is accountability still a major challenge in monitoring policy executions?
Okay, so let's talk about corruption first, and then later we'll talk about accountability. And if I forget, you may
I'll remind
me.
you. Yes, Pastor.
Lee Kuan Yew, one of the greatest leaders the world has ever seen in this generation, who took Singapore from third world to first world in 40 years. He said corruption is about the worst thing that can happen to any government and any organization. He says wherever there's corruption, there's going to be a misallocation of resources, there's going to be policy of somersaults, there's going to be insincerity, and there's going to be a lack of development. I think the biggest singular problem in Nigeria today is corruption. Anywhere in the world, corruption. And any country that has corruption at this level, this volume, or any sort of corruption whatsoever, will not be able to make significant progress. It's as simple as that.
Pastor, thank you for being around with us. We're going to be looking at the security issues in Nigeria, the insecurity issues in Nigeria. Donald Trump very recently said he was going to come into the country to help fight the insecurity, and a lot of people are expecting him. A lot of people are saying, what is he waiting for? We need him to come. And just when we're dealing with that, we heard of the kidnap of the female students from a school in Kebbi State. And, you know, that has been very pathetic. There are 25 of them, and the vice principal was killed. Pastor, at this rate, do you think the government of today is not doing enough for security?
Well, a lot of the problem has become so deep and sincere and really terrible that it's going to take a lot of energy, power, interest, and there was a word you used the other time, political will to fight insecurity in Nigeria. The reason is that there's some big people behind this insecurity for whatever reason. It could be politics. Because I don't see why anybody will go to a school and capture 25 children. For what? And then kill the vice principal. I don't see the economic gain to the person. I don't see it. Okay, aside from wickedness, hatred, ignorance, or politics. I don't see it. Okay, I don't even know if they're demanding a ransom. The other girls that they took away the other day, nobody even demanded a ransom. They just took them away. You know, and if you want to marry girls, it's not difficult. You can go and ask the parents and pay the bride price and marry them. So I think there's some powerful people who are behind this thing for an interest.
So what could that interest be? Because as some people would say, to be able to tackle something headlong, you need to go after those at the profit end. So could it be for money making, or just as someone said this morning, their interest could be anti-education, because the Boko Haram sect are saying that they are against Western education. So could it be because there are people up there who are saying they don't want their girls? Because obviously, as someone said, the girl child is always the main target. So are they saying that they don't want education for the girl child? And as such, they are attacking these people. So what do you think could be done to be able to correct that mindset, especially those who are at the profit end of getting their ideology realized?
So the question I want to ask you, if I'm allowed, is what is the profit end by some people by not having some girls or boys educated? What are they profiting from it? What is the long-term game plan? Because there's a long-term game plan that they are after. Tell me, what are they profiting from?
Josh. Okay, Pastor now is the presenter. So Josh, please answer the question.
He just sounded like the African who asked question with a question.
No, but he's anchor right now, so please answer the question.
He should be the one to respond to the question, because Josh, persons are saying that this could be their ideology. So I'm asking him now. Perhaps he might have an idea, because I'm not the one to form that opinion for people. So what do you think would be
It's a
the
political
reason?
interest.
Oh, really?
And they're using religion for the benefit of control of power. That's all. Some people have decided that they want to control power and influence people and the thinking of people and control resource, and therefore they are using ideology to control the minds of people so that they can control power.
Okay, if I may come in here, Josh was asking, because we had a guest this morning who also said just what Josh mentioned, because the female students are usually targeted. If we remember the Chibok girls, it was the girls. And now we have from Kebbi 25 female students. Why is it that the female students are usually targeted? Is it because they are too soft, they won't be able to escape, or because Josh said,
just like he said, let me corroborate what he said. It's a patriarchal world where the men are in charge. So he also the guest also tried to narrow it into the biblical saying where Apostle Paul said women should keep quiet.
Yes, shouldn't speak even in church. If you
in
do
the
not
house of
understand
God. So
anything,
if you have anything to
ask your husbands when you
can
get
go
home.
back home and ask your husband. So are we gradually trying to understand it from that perspective, that the idea of targeting girl child is just to deprive them of education and keep them in a place where you can call them the second-class citizens?
And there's nobody is targeting to deprive them or to be bad to them. People are making it an ideology. And sometimes ideologies are not properly explained and not properly understood.
Yeah.
And then sometimes misunderstood in context of a different and a changing society, and so on and so forth. Society has moved away far, far, far from a girl being underprivileged. But people still want to retain it as an ideology, and an ideology to force their interest and to gain their control of the society. Okay? It's just an ideology. They themselves don't understand the meaning of that ideology, but they have been told that this is the way it should be. And because it should be this way, anything that contradicts that thing is contradicting their ideology, is contradicting their interest, contradicting their culture, and therefore it must be done away with. And therefore they target that ideology, or they use that ideology to target innocent girls. And then, of course, maybe the girls also are soft targets, and so on and so forth, which is, again, is unfortunate. But it's just the ideology. You know, you have an ideology that says that you must take the Holy Communion, for example. The Holy Communion is an ideology. Take the Holy Communion because you believe the Holy Communion will give you strength. So anybody that comes to threaten your Holy Communion, you will fight him with your life, and so on and so forth. It's an ideology that somebody has sold to you. You have an ideology that says you must pray 3 times a day or 5 times a day. Anything that prevents you from praying 4 or 5 times a day, which sometimes you don't even understand why you are praying 3 or 4 or 5 times a day. You don't even understand the reason behind it. But it's now become an ideology for you, and you protect it with your blood. I'll tell you a very funny story. A lady in their house, Black Americans, they will catch fish, call it keeper or whatever it is. They will cut the tail, cut the head, and put it in the fry pan. Every time they cut the fish, they will cut the tail, cut the head, put it in the fry pan. And it became a strong family tradition that if anybody came to their house and didn't cut the tail, cut the head, they had disgraced the family. They should be expelled. So one day, an innocent child asked, "Mama, why do we cut the tail and cut the head before we fry the fish?" My teacher told me the head is nutritious. Say, go ask your grandmama. I don't know. All we know is this is what we do. So they asked the grandmama, why do you cut the tail, cut the head, put it in the fry pan? So I don't know. Go ask your great-grandmama. They had a great-grandmama. This is all I know. It's what we do. This is our family tradition. Nobody must break it. So they went to the great-grandmama, toothless now. Great-grandmama, why do we cut the tail and cut the head before we put it in the frying pan? Great-grandmama said, oh, finally you asked the question. Oh, in them day, The fry pan was very small.
Oh, wow. Wow.
The fish couldn't fit in.
Oh, wow.
So we had to cut the tail and cut the head to put the fish in. It became an ideology based on the thinking of that day. But today, with huge fry pans and big baking ovens,
still go that circle.
It is irrelevant. But
very
some people would defend it with their blood. This is our family tradition. We must cut the tail, cut the head. A lot of the ideologies are like that. They were suitable when you had a lunar society. You had no iPads. You had no social media. You had no understanding of what causes, what penicillin and antibiotics does. You know, it's like telling me now that you want to cure antibiotics by putting a baby to the fire. I cause infection. You put the baby to the fire, like my grandmother used to do. Well, you can give him a little shot of penicillin and you are done. But this is our tradition. When you have the new baby, put him by the fire. Why? It is to prevent infection in the future. But they're still doing it till today. Society has changed. Society has changed.
Now, let's talk about the role of the governors in this case, because looking at the intel the governor received, I mean, the abduction of the 25 girls, he said he received an intel which made him deploy soldiers to that particular school. But unfortunately, the soldiers left the scene, which gave way for the guys to go in and abduct the girls. Now someone is saying that he's the executive governor of the state, which means that he should be the #1 controller of the state, but he does not control the armed forces. So at what point should we begin to see our governors taking full responsibility, not just answering sole executive officers of the state just on paper, but on words and action, so that schools within those regions that have become a prime target could be secured, especially for children now who are apprehensive about going to school, given what just happened?
Yeah, so I run a group called the African Leadership Group. And every Thursday, maybe we can put it on your platform, we have a dialogue on Nigerian Leadership Series, African Leadership Series, trying to look for solution to these problems that we're all discussing. What we're trying to do with that series is to consult widely different kinds of people. This is where we are in Nigeria. Agriculture, what do you think? Education, what do you think? So last week, we had a guy called Professor Robert Dastro to tell us what is this issue of having Nigeria mentioned as a country of particular concern. What does it mean?
Or as a disgraced nation, as it were.
What does it mean? Okay, because he's been working on this CPC thing in America with various governments for many years, and we happen to just know him. And one of the things he said is that there's no way you can effectively police a society if you do not have local policing. That's what this governor was saying. How can I give an instruction to troops and somebody somewhere gives a counter instruction? But then this should tell us quickly where the problems are. The soldiers are still alive. If they are bold enough and courageous enough, they should tell us who told them to leave that place. Where did the instruction come from? By the time you go 3-4 levels, you'll find where our problems are and who gave the instruction. Some superior officer must have given an instruction to some other officer, who was protecting some interest. So that will solve a bit of our problem. So the governor should do his investigation. But this also tells me that we need to have local policing. But the fear of local policing is that the politicians will again weaponize it and use it to fight,
to harm the people,
which they are doing even at the federal. Federal is using his might to control.
But there could be some legal frameworks that could put them in checks.
Let's put in the frameworks. But technically, everywhere in the world, the police should be local. Politics is local. Police should be local.
Crime is local.
Crime is local.
Yeah.
So there must be local control. So in America, you have county police, you have university police, county police, university police, state police, federal police, 4 sorts of police. And each police knows his own jurisdiction, knows his own area. In my area, I'm in charge. You can't come into my area, even if you're federal, without seeking my cooperation and my consent.
But do you think Nigeria is ready and matured and prepared for that kind of policing?
We just have to try it, you know. We just have to try it, and so on and so forth. Where will we get ready and matured and prepared? Again, you've spoken to what I said earlier, the level of education and knowledge. By the time maybe my children's generation are in charge, maybe we'll be mentally ready, okay? But maybe right now, because of our background and limited exposure, maybe we're not really ready.
Okay, Pastor, thank you so much. But before we round off, I'm going to be asking you one word for the government of today: policy and security.
One word.
Just one word for both. For one for policy, one for security. Insecurity.
We just need the government to be sincere. Sincerity. And to really, really go after the best interests of the ordinary and average Nigerian. With everything that they have. If they did that, nobody needs to buy any votes. Nobody needs to influence election outcomes. Nigerians are easy to please, the average Nigerian. They just want an environment where they can operate with safety and do their craft. They're so creative. That's why they're going to environments that gives them that opportunity.
And they do well.
And they do well. They don't care who is in government house. They really don't care. The man just wants to prosper and enjoy himself. So if government concentrates on what will make the average Nigerian happy and prosperous, that's what the governor or the prime minister of Dubai said, Al Maktoum. He says, my job is to make my people happy. So he will stop people on the road. Are you happy? I'm not happy. What is the problem? Yesterday, the sun shone too brightly. What do I do about it? Can you put a small cloud cover? Okay, Minister of Communication, begin to research it. This boy must be happy. Goes down the other place. I'm not happy. Why are you not happy? The hamburgers were not properly fried yesterday. Why? The kitchen overheated. Okay, I will research it. I will make you happy. There's 200 million of us. What is the census that will make each one of us happy? By the time you do that census, you will find that there's only 3, 4, 5 things that will make them happy. Let the government focus on it and make his people happy.
Thank you so much, Pastor. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us here today on TMI. It's been a fantastic time out with Pastor Dr. Itua Ighodalo. This is a private interview with Pastor, and we know that Pastor is the senior pastor of Trinity House Zion Center. Thank you for joining us today on TMI. Josh, you have something to say?
Yeah, it's a pleasure, of course, sharing this very momentous moment with him.
Make the people happy. My name is Patricia Uremu Gabriels. Thank you for joining.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain, which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
A very beautiful morning to you. Thank you for joining us on the news update for 9:30. I am Lawrence Osifo. Barely 24 hours after the showdown at the National Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, the Nigeria Police Force on Wednesday barricaded all entrances leading to the party's headquarters, the Wadata Plaza in Abuja. Political correspondent Joseph Kadiri reports that the heavy security presence on Wednesday comes amid a deepening tension between the two opposing factions battling for control of the party's leadership. The report.
Monitoring the aftermath of the standoff that unfolded at the PDP National Secretariat for the most part of Tuesday, had on one side was the national chairman of the party, Kabiru Turaki SCN, who arrived with the support of the governors of Bauchi and Oyo states. On the opposite side stood the faction loyal to the acting national chairman, Abdurrahman Mohammed, backed strongly by the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike. The situation took another turn just a day after the confrontation, when the police officers arrived at the premises a few minutes past 9 a.m. and immediately mounted barricades reinforced with barbed wire. The blockade prevented entry into the building for both factions, effectively shutting down all official activities. Moment after the initial cordon was set up, another team of police personnel conducted a conspicuous show of force, driving repeatedly around the complex to assert control and deter any escalation. As it stands, the crisis rocking the PDP appears far from over, as neither faction seems willing to back down. Only time will tell how the warring groups will eventually sheath their swords and restore stability to the party. From Abuja, Joseph Kadri, ITV News.
The Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Blessing Agbebako, has appealed to the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, to rehabilitate federal roads in Edo State, which he described as being in deplorable condition. Assembly correspondent Joy Obarisiagmo files in the report.
With the Christmas celebration fast approaching, Speaker of the 8th Assembly, Right Honorable Blessing Agbebako, speaking on behalf of Edo lawmakers, urged the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, to repair dilapidated federal roads, which typically see an influx of travelers during the festive season. He made the appeal during Wednesday's plenary section.
We want to appeal to FEMA to please help Edo people to go back to the federal roads for rehabilitation, because most of the federal roads they are in a historic situation, and this is the ember month, the festive period.
In a separate development, the lawmakers took a moment to extend birthday wishes to the member representing Oriomo South constituency, Honorable Bright Iyamu, a gesture of camaraderie and goodwill. From Benin, Joy Obaisiagmu, ITV News.
The Edo State Police Command has reassured residents that it is intensifying strategies to curb the rising cases of kidnapping and other crimes across the state, particularly incidents recorded in farming communities. Fielding question from crime correspondent Jolade Ojo, The command's public relations officer, CSP Moses Yamu, explained that several initiatives, including the community safety partnership, strengthen intelligence gathering, and enhance synergy with sister security agencies, and also are being implemented to address security in the state. The report.
Chief Superintendent of Police Moses Yamu says many recent incidents reported to the command involved farmers being attacked on their farmland, a trend that has become more pronounced in recent months. He, however, noted that kidnapping incidents on major highways have reduced compared to earlier periods. CSP Moses Yamu further highlighted the Community Safety Partnership Initiative championed by the Commissioner of Police, Monday Agbonika, as one of the command's major strategies in tackling the evolving trend of insecurity. Another critical approach, he said, is the reinforcement of intelligence gathering, supported by the deployment of high-end surveillance tools, including drones, to monitor difficult terrains, uncover criminal hideouts, and guide targeted operations.
The Community Safety Partnership Initiative, which is a response to these cases of kidnapping that we used to record in the hinterlands, the farms, has trickled down to area commands and divisions to ensure that all hands are on deck to checkmate this issue of kidnapping, especially in the farm. Part of this initiative has to do with patrolling of farms. The issues of also intelligence gathering has been intensified by the command. Executive Governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpebholo, has also approved for the purchase of a state-of-the-art drone. So that will also help the police.
On synergy with other security formations, the police spokesperson stressed that collaboration remains active, productive, and far-reaching.
We have been working very well with both the task force, the vigilante, to ensure that we have a very peaceful Edo State, even in our bush combing operations and rescue operations.
While acknowledging public concerns as legitimate, the PPRO appealed to residents to remain calm and continue sharing credible information with the command. From Benin, Jola Diojo, ITV News.
A federal high court sitting in Abuja has ordered that the status quo between Ossiomo Investment Limited and the Jiangsu Communication Clean Energy Technology Company Limited CCETC be maintained. CCETC filed a case with the suit number FSC/ABJ/2031/2025 against the Corporate Affairs Commission CAC in Abuja and Ossiomo Power on the 15th of October 2025 at the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja. The court, presided over by Justice P.O. Lifu, granted an injunction directing that all parties maintain the status quo pending the determination of the matter. This order reaffirmed that Ossiomo Power remains the 100% shareholder of the COPC, as clearly reflected in the Corporate Affairs Commission CAC records. The issues raised by CCETC in the Federal High Court are identical to those already before an arbitrary panel in Singapore, suggesting what appears to be forum shopping. Ossiomo Power reiterates its position as the sole shareholder of COPC and its commitment to stability, good governance, and transparency. Similarly, Edo State High Court sitting in Benin City, presided over by Honorable Justice Mary Itsueli, has granted an injunction restraining Chief Emmanuel Iyase Okao of Olugbo Community, Mr. Eric Osawaro, Chairman, Olugbo Community Relations Committee, and Deacon Friday Osazua, Secretary, Olugbo Dukedom, acting for themselves and on behalf of the Olugbo community, from trespassing on, selling, or erecting structures on the 1511.269 hectares of land located at Ossiomo Industrial Park in Olugbo, in the Ikpoba local government area of Edo State. The restraining order with suit number B/908/2025 was issued on the 11th of November 2025. Ossiomo Power maintains its commitment to protecting its assets and ensuring a secure and orderly industrial environment. The case has been adjourned to 26th January 2026 for hearing on the motion on notice. And elders and other leaders of Itse village in Ovia Northeast local government area of Edo State, says the former Okaigele of the youth leader of the community who has been removed from office stands removed. A statement by the Okao of Ite village from Chief Wilfred Oviasui warns the general public that anybody, organization, groups, religious organization, persons or individuals, private estate developers, corporate societies who transact any land business with the suspended and removed Okaigele and his accomplices with respect to its communal land does it at his or her own risk. The statement adds that the Ite village or any of its indigenous leaders and the Okao would not bear any liability for lands illegally acquired from the former Okaigele, nor take any steps to validate such illegal acquired lands. According to the statement, the Okao of Ite village, being the overall traditional authority, Ite village, a local and subject to His Royal Majesty, the Oba of Benin, Omonobanedo Uku Akbolokbolo, Oba Ewari II, reaffirmed that the former Okaigele has no power or authority to sell any portion or each of Ite communal land, nor mortgage same either in law or under the Benin native law and customs. The Okao reinstated that for clarity's sake, that an Okaigele do not have any right whatsoever to alienate, transfer, assign, or deal in any manner whatsoever with communal lands, while the only persons authorized to sell communal land are the Okao of Ite alongside with the elders and other persons, including members who are signatory to the Council of Elders and the Okao in Council, as well as the Ite Village Plot Allotment Committee. The Okao of Ite village, being the overall traditional authority, announced that a new Okaigele, Mr. Monde Osaerome Omele, has been appointed to replace the former. The public announcement also serves as an official notice to the police, the Department of State Service, the DSS, and other security agencies operating in Benin City, Edo State. As at the time of this report, attempts to obtain reaction from the removed Okaigele were not successful. We, however, will broadcast when it's made possible. And that's the size of our package for the news update for 9:30. I am Lawrence Osifo, thanking you for watching. Up next is TMI Socials with Stephanie. Stay with us.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ.
Good morning and welcome to TMI Socials. I am Stephanie Notodiwa, and here's what's making wave across social media. First, a tragic accident has claimed the lives of 16 prospective NYSC members traveling to the Gombe residential camp. 2 others sustained critical injuries. The victims were graduates of the Adeyemi Federal University of Education, Ondo State, and were part of the 2025 batch C Corps members posted to serve in Gombe. Authorities are yet to confirm the cause of the accident. The incident has sparked grief nationwide and renewed call for a safer transport for Corps members. Let's get to see some reactions as regards this accident. This one said, this is exactly why people keep asking why NYSC is still dragging young graduates across dangerous highways like it's 1973. 16 lives gone in one trip, not by terrorists this time, but by a system that refused to evolve or protect the people it claimed to build. Let's get to see the next comment. Share those who want to serve the country aren't seeing that the country is not ready to serve them. Let's get to see the next comment. This is heartbreaking beyond words. Every year, our brightest youth die on these same bad roads and the same avoidable tragedies, and government does nothing. Poor road, reckless driver, zero emergency response. Nigeria keep wasting its future before it even began. Shame. Let's get to see the last comment as regards this issue. Oh God of mercy, when will this end? I think it's time for NYSC to stop sending people to another man's land. Let everyone start serving in their state of origin. Moving on, youths in Eruku, Kwara State blocked the envoy of the governor, Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, demanding his address for the bandit attack on the church and the community. The residents, expressing frustration over rising insecurity, insisted on hearing the government. Plans to protect them. Authorities have yet to issue an official response, so let's get to see the video as regards this incident. Now let's get to see some reactions as regards this incident. This one said the governor should do right by humanity and genuinely sympathy should be aggravated. People, they don't have to force it out of him. Next comment. Now like this, they take that. Make the Nigerian government do something, because if the youth take action, honestly, even Mr. President will find it difficult to handle. Let's get to see the next comment. The youth have every right to demand answers. Security failures affecting communities cannot go unaddressed. Let's get to see the last comment as regards this issue. President, why should any part of this country be under terrorist occupation? In any civilized country, Tinubu should resign. This is what he said to Goodluck Jonathan when he was president. Moving on, similarly, global music star Nicki Minaj has spoken at the United Nations event, drawing international attention to the persecution of Christians in Nigeria. She condemned reports of violence, displacement, and attack on worshippers, calling for urgent global action to protect vulnerable community. Minaj emphasized that advocacy is about defending human rights and standing against injustice, regardless of religion or nationality. Let's get to see the video of her speech.
In way too many places. In Nigeria, Christians are being targeted, driven from their homes, and killed. Churches have been burned. Families have been torn apart, and entire communities live in fear constantly, simply because of how they pray. Sadly, this problem is not only a growing problem in Nigeria, but also in so many other countries across the world, and it demands urgent action.
And now, let's see the reactions. This one said, imagine Nigerian leaders quiet like mute buttons, but Nicki Minaj don't reach UN to talk for us. At this point, even celebrities are doing the job of the government. Let's get to see the next comment. An outsider speaking on the genocide going on in the country when we have our own celebrities who have never spoken about it. Shame to you all. Let's get to see the next comment. This one says, we must first ask if it's a genuine show of concern. I don't doubt her sincerity, but she comes from a country which has, from time, shown little or no regard for Africans. It's totally okay to ask if her concerns are genuine. Let's get to see the last comment. This one said, this is the reason I don't value all these Niger celebrities. You can never see me engaging in talks about them. And lastly, for this morning, no family deserved this pain. Singer Davido reacts to Kebbi schoolgirls and the kidnapping and the killing in Kwara church attack. Let's get to see some of the reactions. This one said, Davido is also showing up to lend his voice whenever tragedy hits Nigeria. We won't ever see Burna Boy or Wizkid showing up in same manner to speak up when things go bad in the country. Let's get to see the last comment as regards this issue. Thank you so much, Davido, for lending your voice. Davido is always showing up to lend his voice whenever tragedy hits Nigeria. You won't ever see Burna Boy or Wizkid showing up in the same manner to speak up when things go bad in the country. And that's the size of our package on today's edition on TMI Social. And on behalf of the 3 Network Center, we've come to an end to TMI on Independent Television. I am Stephanie Notoriwa. Thank you so much for staying tuned.